Well, hello everybody, welcome back to Best Life and Beyond. I am solo today. I'm back at downtown Disney for an update. Katie could not be with me. She's at the dentist getting long-awaited work done. It's been a little bit of a process for her. She had some things to do that she had to space out, and today ended up being one of those days she had to go in. So I hope she's going to feel better. We'll check in with her a little bit later. But I'm here to bring you a little downtown Disney update and a little perspective. My thoughts, feelings about how things are going here. We haven't been back here, well, neither of us have been back here since, I think, December, before the holidays, before we left for Walt Disney World. So I think it'd be interesting to come take a look and just see how I feel about it and just get some perspective, having been to a fully operational, well, pretty operational theme park in Florida, and then coming back here to a shopping district only with no food or drink allowed. A lot of restrictions. Just wanted to see what the crowd was like, what the vibe was like, and also, like I said, share some perspective with you guys of how we're feeling about this stuff. And I'm going to speak for Katie as well during this process. Now I can tell you that right away, walking in, there was a steady stream of folks coming in. The parking lot was about, I'd say 1/4 full, maybe 1/3 full. More people than I expected to see, to be fair. It is a Monday, and I thought, well, there's probably not going to be anybody here because what's there to do but shop, but you'd be surprised. A lot of people want to come and shop and feel the Disney magic, hear the music, just be on the grounds, and I completely understand that. Now, like I said, having been to Walt Disney World last month, it is a little bit different to come back, very polarizing, if that's the right word. Seeing everything, seeing that the Starbucks is closed, but still a lot of happy folks walking around with, I assume, smiles on their faces. They're all wearing masks, obviously, complying. You know, everybody's been shopping. They've been keeping the company afloat over here as best they can by participating in the Disney experience on the West Coast, which isn't much. But like I said, I wanted to talk about a little perspective on that, and three things that started with the letter P, actually. I wanted to talk about perspective. I wanted to talk about positivity, like our friend Justin Scard always talks about. Q4P, Quest for Positivity, I love that. And I also wanted to talk about persistence, the three Ps: perspective, positivity, and persistence, and how those things work into our mindset, our feelings amidst this situation that we've been going through, that we continue to go through here. So out of those three Ps, the first thing I want to talk about is perspective. You know, your outlook, your angle on things, how you perceive what you're seeing, how you process it. I think perspective is really important at this time, to try to really step back and take a look and really understand what's going on around you and how you fit into what is happening, how everybody else is feeling, because I think it's important to be concerned about everybody at this time. I think we all need a lot of that togetherness vibe, that happy vibe. That's why I'm here today. You know, get back into that happiest place on earth vibe on the West Coast, because it's still here. Let's not forget, it's not gone completely. And I think it's important to reflect on that kind of stuff and still remember they're working really hard to keep this open and do the best they can, because this is the only way they can do it with the rules that are in place in this state. Let's cruise in, see what's going on. It's good to see pin traders active. Still people getting into collecting pins. That was always something I was into. Not so much anymore, but every once in a while if I see a cool pin that I want to get, it's kind of a fun way to stay involved and not spend too much money on merchandise. Oh, hey, Lego store. Like that. Good news. See, there's a positive sign right there. There's only a standby line. Please line up on the right with a little Lego arrow. But hey, good news, see? Just like the Knight's doing. Fight for positivity. So an interesting thing about perspective, as humans, we tend to focus more on the negative, and there's a reason why we do that. It's a survival thing. It's built into our DNA that if we don't pay attention to the negative things that happen to us, then those things may happen again to us. And say you're an animal and you're going to take a drink out of a stream and you get attacked by a lion or a leopard or something like that, you're going to think twice about going back to that stream, right? So the idea is that you remember it and you focus on it. You don't remember how good that stream tasted or how nice the view was or how much water was there. You tend to focus on the fact that you got attacked or almost got attacked, and you're not going to go back there. It's called negative bias. It's a built-in safety mechanism that we have in our DNA. So it's understandable why people go to the negative so quickly and so easily. It's nature. Now when it comes to something like Wetzel's, where I can smell the Wetzel's pretzels like you always can, that's a positive thing right there. I didn't think I was going to smell that awesome smell. But you can't eat it here. That's the one tough part. You can't get it and run out to your car and scrounge it all down real quick. So that's a good thing. There's a positive, right? Same thing goes for Salt and Straw. They're open for takeout, so you can go get your favorite ice cream, but you just can't eat it here. That's all right. I can deal with that. That same goes for Martheline's Confectionery. You can go in there and get your favorite Disney treats. You just can't eat them here. One could also say, look, there's only one person in line. We were having to wait in line all the way back to here before, so there you go. Twist that into a little positive. You can pretty much walk right into Marshall Lanes. Now, I don't know what the capacity is. At least you don't have to wait too long to get in there to get what you need to get. Well, I'm actually very surprised that a lot of these places are open. They're just open for takeout, like Jamba Juice. Open, you can just grab it and go. Maybe the idea is that when you're done shopping and you're super thirsty, you've been here for too long, you can grab your Jamba and get it out to your car and hydrate yourself. Something else really cool is the sound of a waterfall. You gotta love that water sound. It's very soothing. I feel like it lowers blood pressure, takes the edge off, especially when having to look at a closed Starbucks. That's one of the hardest ones for me here, I have to say. I have to use a lot of perspective, a lot of positivity to deal with this one, because that was one of my favorite things, was to come here, get a nice iced coffee, hang out for a minute, watch the people go by, get myself a little amped up for the process of shopping and enjoying Disney. It's always kind of goes hand in hand for us. And then of course it's always good to see the old World of Disney open. That's probably one of the main reasons people come here, to enjoy World of Disney, get all their 2021 merch taken care of, because that's all here. It's a good vibe in World of Disney. Plus Tim, World of Disney, is in there. Tim, Wad Tim, World of Disney, that's what I call him. Love visiting Tim. He's probably here today. Maybe I'll try to find him for some positivity and some perspective. And here's something I haven't seen yet. Look at the windows. The 2021 windows look amazing. Oh yes, all the primary colors. Mickey looking great in his glowingness. I like the new look, the geometric chunkiness. Oh, this window's great. Kind of reminds me of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway a little bit. Nothing can stop us now, the theme of that ride. Never more needed of a saying, right, you guys? Nothing can stop us now. Stay positive. And again, I'm surprised to see, look, it's the little Wetzel's cart and the Diggity Dogs open. So I'm sure, like I said, people probably get their appetites and their thirst up when they're shopping, because it takes a lot of energy to walk around, get excited about the merch you're seeing, you know? Just want to make my way through the Esplanade, go check out Buena Vista real quick. Get inside the park a little is always a good thing, just to feel it, the theming, all that good stuff. And it's always good to come by this little fountain, see some magic. I'm gonna zoom in to the side of the Poppy Fountain, as I call it. Did you guys know that there was a hidden Mickey right there? You see it? See the two ears? Yeah, that's a pretty tough one. Katie showed me that one years ago. I get a lot of good feels when I see that kind of stuff. The magic is still alive at Downtown Disney. All right, made my way out to the Esplanade, just on the other side of the monorail beam over here, kind of near Disneyland, and I wanted to talk about a little bit more about that negative bias. And you know, because I'm sure you're going, yeah, but Spence, if you consistently just think positive about everything, you're not going to be prepared for what the world is going to deliver you, because there's a lot of bad things that can happen to you, and you have to kind of have one foot in what they call realism, right? Kind of the happy medium that you have to achieve, I feel like. And there's a term called the Pollyanna Principle, modeled after the 1913 novel by Eleanor Porter, which was then made into a movie in 1960, a live-action Disney movie with Haley Mills. You may have seen it. The character Pollyanna was basically a very optimistic girl who always looked at the positive side of things, the silver lining, if you will. Even in sad and bad situations, she always found a way to turn it into a positive. She called it the glad game, and in the movie, basically, it was one of those things that she spread around so much that it had a significant effect on the town that she lived in. So, based on that, the Pollyanna Principle often refers to people being a little bit naive in their optimism, but I think it's an important thing to have, and it's ironic that it's a Disney property, which I love that. But the opposite of the Pollyanna Principle, the Eeyore Principle. I just named it the Eeyore Principle, but you know how people say, oh, you're being an Eeyore, you're being negative, you're you know, downing everything, the glass half empty kind of perspective, like, oh, Disneyland's closed, oh, what am I gonna do, my life's over, oh. And in actuality, maybe it's time to focus on other things. Maybe for us, it was we got to visit Walt Disney World for the first time, and I don't know that we would have been motivated to go so soon. We probably would have procrastinated like we do, put it off. Who knows if we ever would have gotten there, but I truly equate Disneyland being closed to that positive silver lining. And that's what I'm talking about, is trying to twist it into something that you can digest without stressing yourself out. Because as we know, stress and negativity, studies have proven, it causes high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease. If you're happy, you sleep better. you eat better, you are just healthier in general. Studies have shown this, it's true. See, there's somebody being positive. Look, she's dancing around outside of Disneyland. That is awesome to see. There is still positive. It's literally just how you perceive it. It's your perspective on it, your outlook, your angle on it, because I could easily find a lot of negatives with the situation I'm in right now. I'm getting thirsty, I'm getting a little hungry, but I'm not gonna focus on that. I'm gonna focus on the fact that I'm in front of Disney California Adventure, looking at the Pan Pacific Theater mock-up, of which I saw in its real form when it was still around. It was in demise, but I did see those structures when they were still up, and right on Beverly Boulevard near Fairfax Avenue. And it's the same front as Disney's Hollywood Studios over in Orlando, which I was pleasantly surprised when I went there. And here's something that makes me really happy, the Mumpus, as Katie and Brian dubbed it. Brian from the Disney Bears. This was a place we always met at. We'd hang out after hours sometimes, kind of look back at our Disneyland. She's there, she's waiting for us. We're gonna be in there again, I promise you. Who knows when? That's not for us to determine. And I'm kind of the belief now that I'm not gonna worry about that too much. I have had the privilege of going to Walt Disney World, and we're gonna make it over there again. We're gonna make it work. Not everybody has that privilege, and I am very grateful and blessed to have done that and to do it again. But I would still try to find the positive, even if I couldn't go do that. I would figure out a way, because it's survival at this point, you know? I wanna be positive, I wanna feel good, I don't wanna be depressed, I don't wanna be angry. That's no way to live. And there's so much divisiveness going on right now. I don't wanna buy into that. The reason I started coming here, the reason I got a pass as an adult, started coming to Disneyland a lot, was because I wanted to come to the happiest place on earth and be happy. That was my choice, to be happy. Now, obviously, when I'm speaking of all these choices to be happy or sad, to be positive or negative, I am not speaking of folks who are clinically depressed, where they do not have the choice in the matter. I'm merely speaking from a personal standpoint here, for myself and for Katie, where we do have that choice. So now, interestingly, the entrance and the exit are on the same side. They're just divided up a little bit. And here's another positive. Look, there is no line to get in here at all. And I don't think I've stopped to really check these benches out ever. The tile work on these benches is pretty incredible. I'm always flying in here to get to something, but to stop and get perspective on it, it's really cool. I mean, look at that. Ah, yes, Buena Vista Street in all its glory. Pacific Electric Station, good old Oswald's, the gas station, and the retro car. And the Hyperion Bridge, yes. Harkening back to the time when Walt first got to California. That's what this whole area basically is. It's 1920s era. And I love that they honored that era. I'm so fond of that era. And you can see the architecture here, that kind of Art Deco look on Elias and Company. And that building right there, in its awesome pink hue, is based on the Max Factor building, the old Max Factor building in Hollywood. All these buildings, for that matter, they all have some sort of influence or reference to original Hollywood, and a lot of those places are still around. You can go see them. Unfortunately, that building does not exist anymore, the Carthay Circle building, famous for the Snow White premiere in 1938. No, unfortunately, obviously, the red car isn't running here. You see the tracks. I mean, we can go see it. We're gonna walk down and see it on Hollywood Boulevard in a minute, but I love that over here at the Trolley Treats, you can see the trolley in its little mountain running right up here. Oh, I hear him. Oh, there he goes. Pacific Electric. That is so cool. Ah, yes, Walt and Mickey, 1920s Walt. Optimism right there. There it is. He had just gone through so much with Oswald being stolen from him, and he still had that optimism and came out here and created Mickey Mouse, then Snow White, and the rest is history. I mean, a lot of details that I'm skipping over, but just the general idea that Walt persevered. I wanted to talk about persistence a little bit, the third P that I mentioned, and that is the man right there who exudes persistence for me, and I always look to him for guidance, and his story and how he pushed through things. I don't think I would have been able to continue, considering the things that he went through, and he created this whole thing, and we're so happy for it. The sun just kissing the side of Carthay Tower. It looks amazing right now as we pan over and take a look at Hollywood Boulevard. Nice and spacious, no one around. More buildings that are actually real. Oh, look, see people having fun, more people dancing. I love seeing this. This is great. But like I was saying, more architectural references to the old Hollywood. Ah, the Frank Lloyd Wright bathrooms, pretty amazing. See, all this stuff, like I said, is based on real architecture and off the page, open for business. artwork, merch, all in one store. That's a great shop. You should come check that out if you're here. Ah, yes, there she is. Good old 623 Pacific Electric, big red car. If you know anything about me, or maybe you don't, I am a huge fan of the red car and the Pacific Electric line that used to occupy Los Angeles and Hollywood and much of the Southland. Looking down towards the Hyperion Theater, Fairfax Market on the left. It's really crazy being back here after going to Disney's Hollywood Studios and seeing what they've done with their Hollywood area. And this is not quite as immersive, but pretty good because the architecture is based on so many real things. Because I was tripping out on that there and how much more expansive it is, but this still has its own charm, definitely. I love that the marquee says, "Have a magical day." Have a magical day from the Disneyland Resort. And it just keeps repeating it. That's what you gotta do. Like all this psychological stuff I've been talking about, you just gotta kind of remind yourself. It's kind of why I did this video, is to remind myself, as well as share it with you guys, about positivity and how to exude that and stay in that. It takes effort. It's not easy. It's something you have to kind of focus on and be persistent about. Persistence, like Walt Disney says. Got to be persistent. All right, so we're talking about positivity and all these great things. And Stephanie's here. She's a fan of the channel. We appreciate that. But you said you were going to do a Katie jig for us and show us your happiness, right?
I'm going to show you my happiness.
There it is.
I'd like to get my feet together.
Oh, there it is. You got it. Wait.
Can I do it on the side?
Yes. Yeah, go for it. She got it.
Almost.
Katie's going to be so proud. Thanks, Stephanie. Thanks, you guys. All right, Backlot Premier Shop. You can access it now, I guess, from over here. I guess maybe this is the only way. I'm not totally sure. Like I said, I haven't been back here in quite some time. And I haven't been back here since they opened up this little leg of the shopping district over by Monsters, Inc. There it is. Ah, yes, Monsters, Inc. There they are. Mike and Sully to the rescue. What a great attraction that is. It's been a long time. And the Avengers. Wow. I wonder when we're going to get to actually see Avengers Campus. And there is the official entrance to Stage 17. I like that. Look at that. It almost looks Star Wars-y a little bit there. A little futuristic. Haven't been in there in quite some time. I'm not going to do any merch today. I got to wait for Katie to be here for merch. Even though I'm going to kind of glance at this little setup right here. But not for long, not for long. There's the ears. I had mentioned that earlier to cast member Kevin over at World of Disney. He was outside and we chatted for a second. And he said, "Oh, we got a lot of new stuff." And I said, "Yeah, I know, I heard. But I can't go in there without Katie. I can't do any kind of merch stuff without Katie because unless I buy her something, which I might, but it's a surprise, Katie. You're not going to know. I can't do merch search without Katie. That's like her thing, you know? Even though I enjoy the merch too, Katie loves the merch, as you guys know. But good to know that the little studio store is active and little outdoor kiosks over here. I like that. What a cool idea to do that. Stepping over by PhilharMagic, Ariel's Choral Group. It's a must-see, folks. It's a must-see. See what they did there? Look at Mickey welcoming you to PhilharMagic. I know, Mick. You still, look, see, he's still keeping a happy face about it, even though he would love to see us all come back into Walt's original Magic Kingdom. He would, he really would, but he's being positive in the meantime because he knows eventually, buddy, eventually we are going to be back to see you, I promise, and that'll be a great day. I look forward to that. And more happiness happening in the form of purchasing Disney balloons. Look at that. There's the Up House flying away. There's the perimeter there. It's a bummer you can't go sit by the waterfall anymore, but that was for, obviously for food intake and no need for that, but that was kind of a nice thing for a little while. But they do have all these little merch carts out here, which I like that they're outside. All the Christmas stuff is, I think, still on sale. Otherwise, I don't think it'd be out here. The child even has his own little kiosk there, pretty cool. I kind of like the beanie. The beanie's really kind of neat, but I'll stay away from the merch, Katie, I promise, sorry. The other perimeter there before you get into Smoke Jumpers area and the old Condor Flats area. Oh, Fiddler Fifer Cafe, home of the Silver Lake Sisters. I love the stained glass entrance there. And the other window at Charlie Treats, I know I looked at the Pacific Electric, but look at this. Look at the candy train, hauling all things that are sweet and satisfying. Look at all the color, isn't that great? What a great little window display. You can come enjoy these window displays still. That's something Disney does oh so well. Well, that wraps it up here from Buena Vista Street and downtown Disney proper. I hope you enjoyed that little update. It was my first time back. I hope you enjoyed the perspective, the positivity, and the persistence that I'm trying to exude. I'm trying to pass it on. I'm trying to spread it around. It's me reminding myself. I'm not just telling you guys. I would love for you to share in it, obviously. Take it however you want, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. And take a little bit of that and spread it around if you can. Keep the positivity spread around, and if there's people that you see that are down around you, try to lift them up as best you can. Strangers, if you see strangers not having a good time, do your best, obviously socially distant and safely, but just try to be nice. Let's keep it light and spread around some positivity. And if you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We have tons more videos coming. We're going to drop the news pretty soon about when we're going back to Walt Disney World, but at the same time, living our best life and sharing it with you guys is what we love to do. And we will see you next time on Best Life and Beyond. Bye-bye, everybody.